Hello, everybody. We are here at ESGCT, and I'm actually in the Euro GCT booth. And I have just met a really special and very talented person I'm going to get to know here in a second. Her name is Anna, and you're originally from the States, but you're now in the UK representing Euro GCT. Why don't you everybody tell everybody what you do?
I'm Dr. Anna Couturier. I am the head of research, development, and strategy at EuroGCT. EuroGCT is the European Consortium for Communicating Cell and Gene Therapy Information, which is a very long way of saying that we lower barriers of engagement for non-experts to be able to engage with cell and gene therapies.
I love that. And you told me a few moments ago that there are 47 different countries?
47 partners from across Europe. That includes institutes, learned societies, patient advocacy organizations, ethicists, social scientists, makers, artists, and people who just want to make sure that this work gets out outside of these conference settings into the real world.
My background actually is in the arts, but yours, yes, I know. I should have mentioned that. And here we are at ESGCT. It brings all sorts of people together, doesn't it? Tell us a little bit more about your background, because I thought this was fascinating. I didn't think I was actually going to have a chance to talk about AI this week, but this happens to be your focus area, correct?
Yeah, so I've been in this area for about 10 years, but I'm a bit of a weird one because I'm a social and computer scientist by background, but I've spent the last 10 years embedded within the gene and cell therapy community, trying to understand essentially how do they work, and more importantly, how does the information about their work disseminate through into the rest of the world. And actually, if you're okay with an anecdote about how I came into AI.
I would love it. I would love it. Please do.
So I was working with a group in the UK called Spotlight YOPD, which is around early onset Parkinson's. And I was out with a few of the patient advocates, and they turned to me and said, Anna, you're a computer person. Why is it that I keep getting ads for gambling when I'm searching for anything? And I thought, okay. Now, I knew a little bit more about the science behind Parkinson's disease at that point. And one of the things that's really important to know about Parkinson's disease is that it affects your ability to create dopamine. Yeah. Which means that one of the side effects is often seeking behavior that can lead towards problematic behavior, problematic drug addiction, gambling, things like that. And I thought, oh dear. Has this person been identified as someone who has Parkinson's and therefore someone who's been targeted for gambling ads because they might be subject to this?
That sounds nefarious.
Nefarious, or these are what what systems do. So I started from this from the scientific point of view, but also from a patient advocacy point of view. Yeah. And that spurned actually what became my doctoral research and the research that has been implemented through EuroGCT on how do we get through AI-mediated systems of information, the right information where it needs to go.
And so you're bringing this knowledge to this organization. In what ways? Do you feel like that is inspiring you with your current job?
Absolutely. I mean, all of the work that we do at EuroGCT is about being informed and where people are. What has really always been impressive to me about this community of scientists is that they are always motivated by that end goal. How do we make sure that we get effective treatments to people who fundamentally often don't have any other options? Gene therapies and cell therapies have the option to fundamentally transform people's lives.
Absolutely.
But matters of accessibility are hugely, hugely important. And if we don't, at the beginning, as a community of scientists and of academics, and just as people, start realizing, well, what happens when our work moves out of the lab and into everyone's lives? Yeah. So that's what I am incredibly proud to do this work. I'm incredibly proud of the European Commission for stepping up and supporting our work. And although we're at a transition period now, we are looking to figure out ways to continue this work and make sure that, again, gene and cell therapies are understood for the amazing potential that they have.
I'm very, very impressed. Real quick, because I'm interested in how you kind of consolidate or kind of like encapsulate everything that you guys are doing. So in one word, how would you describe what you're doing at EuroGCT?
Can it be a hyphenated word?
We'll give you a hyphenated word, sure.
Lowering barriers.
Lowering barriers? Oh, I wish we could do that across the entire world.
Yeah. Agreed. And to be really honest, what's really great about what we do is, so we work in 7 different languages. We work across the field. We work across stakeholder groups. And what has been so enlightening about it is to see the similarities of people's what they want from this work. Yeah. We also do a lot of training for early career researchers to be better about communicating their research to non-experts. And that is it's seeing young people, early career researchers, their enthusiasm is it is one of the most privileged positions that I am in to be able to get to do that work
Yeah.
with them. So I love doing this work, and I'm so proud that we're able to be part of this.
Yeah, me too. I think being in marketing and communications gives us this different perspective about being on the front line and getting a chance to see all this happening. We're not in the lab. Not to say that the work is any less in any different position, but it is a very interesting and privileged position to be in to get to talk to all these different kind of people.
You have an expertise actually that I think is really important. In some ways, I want you to come in to speak to all these scientists to understand what you see when their work is moving out into the world, whether it be in person or in a digital space, because you understand exactly what's coming down the line for them.
Yeah.
And it has real impacts, right? Because research priorities, how funding is allocated, what we're able to do is influenced by what people understand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take regulations as a great example, if you're talking to a parliamentarian out there, the majority of parliamentarians have a background in legal studies, which means the last time they were in a science classroom, they were 14, 15
years old. Yeah.
Do they remember do they know what a viral vector is? Do they know what transcription factors are? Probably not.
Nope, they do not. I would say part of our job is marketing's job is to try to get the conversation as fast as possible. That's kind of the way I encapsulate everything that we do. Taking a person's passion and turning it into something that could be commercialized is also really difficult. So academics out there really don't want to think about it. They just want to work on the things that they are most passionate about, and getting those, obviously those treatments to market are important. So you need good partners. And that's where you need to find equally passionate folks in the business space to kind of work together and get those things out there in the real world. So yes, I'm with you on all that. Would you have any advice for folks that you would think that need to get into this industry or want to be more part of life sciences that are just kind of starting off? Because there's a lot of folks that are here that are kind of just thinking about being in the life sciences, and they're just here at the show kind of learning about the latest, greatest that's happening in gene and cell therapy. I'm just wondering from your standpoint, what do you think?
I think it's really important to think pre-competitively, because I think what I found in working with industry and working with, people from the PhD to the heads of institutes, to people who have Nobel Prizes, to people who have just had another experiment come back failed. The thing that unites us is a lot more than what divides us. And I think it's really incredibly important to make sure that we're all starting from a same point of understanding. So my biggest piece of advice would be generous with your insight. The more generous you are with your insight, the more that you bring people on board, the more that opportunities open up for you down the line. And you don't know what different expertise you'll be able to draw on if you've already established those relationships.
Yeah.
So be generous.
Lower those barriers.
Yes, lower those barriers to engagement. Exactly.
Okay, so if you were to think of one word to describe all of ESGCT and what it means for you to be at these conferences, what might that be?
Privileged.
Privilege?
Yeah. Again, as a kind of insider outsider, every single time that I'm here, the conversations that I have make a huge difference on the way that I move through the world, understand the world, and how I do my work. And I think it's a great privilege.
And it's a privilege to meet you, Anna. Thank you. I hope you have a great ESGCT. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Bye, everybody.